ॐ यदिवाहम् अनृतदेव आसमोघं वा देवामप्यूहे अग्ने किमस्मभ्भयं जातवेदो हृणीषेद्रोगवाचस्ते निर्वृतं सचन्ताम् स्वाहा. I am putting swaha because the Havan Kund is burning here. This is a Ved mantra explained by my Acharya in his recent book called Ved Gyan Hi Satya Gyane. Really wonderful book. If you want to read this book, please order from vedmandir.com. This mantra is actually a very powerful and bitter mantra, I would say. Why bitter? Because it is against what the common men is following today. It's a bitter truth and a warning given by Almighty God, and God is giving a very beautiful knowledge in this mantra. He says, Yediva aham anruta devaha asa. He says that you are Jivatma, you must do prayer, you must do prarthana to me like this. Yediva aham, if I am Andrita Devaha Asa. Andrita means false. Ritam means the truth, Satya. Ritam means whatever knowledge given by Almighty God in the Vedas is Ritam. Andritam means whatever is against Vedas. So we have to pray to Almighty God like this, and we must try to obey this prayer. Even if you do not pray to Almighty God with this kind of Ved mantras, the Ved mantra will anyway work. Because Ved mantras are Rit Jnana, Ved mantras are from Almighty God. So here Almighty God says you must pray like this, Yediva aham andrita deva asa. If I believe in those gods which are not truth, which are against the Vedas, asa means if I am believing those gods. Today we are believing in gods against Vedas. We are believing gods. Almighty God says in Vedas, Ekam Sadvipra Bahuda Vadanti. He is only one. Almighty God is only one, but today we are believing different types of Almighty God. So that means we are today doing Andrita Deva Puja. That means we are doing worship of Almighty God who is imaginary. And further the mantra says, He Agne, He Parameshwara, also Mogam Devan Apyuhe. Apyuhe means by imagination and by falsehood. Mogam means we can say by falsehood. Due to Mithya Jnana and by imagination, Devan Apyuhe. Devan means I am worshipping imaginary Almighty gods. Today, who are the imaginary Almighty gods? Any Almighty God we are worshipping. In Hinduism, we are worshipping Lord Shiva, we are worshipping Lord Krishna, we are worshipping Sri Rama, we are worshipping Devi Devatas, 33 crore Devatas. Every worship what we are doing today in Hinduism commonly is Anrita Deva. They are not Almighty God. Because God is always one. And for example, Lord Shiva was a human being, was a Yogeshwar. Sri Ram was a yogi. Sri Krishna was a yogi. God does not send avatar. God does not take avatar. This is Hinduism. For example, in Islam, people worship Allah, imaginary, Apyu hai, imaginary Almighty God. People worship, for example, in Christianity, Jesus. This is not Almighty God. Almighty God is one for all. Almighty God is not one for each religion, because religions are man-made. Almighty God is one for all the human beings. He has created this entire universe for all of us. So, Yediva aham andrita deva asa agne mogam devan apyuhe. Mogam means by falsehood, by imagination, due to mithya jnana. If I worship imaginary Almighty God against the Vedas, then मैं अपराधी हूँ, then I am a defaulter. I'm a sinner. We have to pray to Almighty God and accept that we are sinners. When we do not accept that we are doing sinful deeds, we will never be able to come out of the sins. So God is saying that do prayer to me on a daily basis. Number one, you pray only to me. Number two, so far, for example, many of you, you have come to my channel. Some of you, not many of you, some of you have realized that yes, God is in Vedas, God is formless. We must worship that Almighty God through everyday Agnihotra, through Yajna, through Acharya Seva, through name jap, etc., etc. After realizing that, we must leave the falsehood and we must pray to Almighty God, so far I have done sins, please forgive me. I will never worship anybody else other than you. As per only I will worship you as per Vedas. I will not worship anybody else other than you. So please forgive me. I am a sinner. We must accept this kind of sinful deeds. Today I am doing any sin, like I have Kam, Krodh, Madlob, Ahankar in me. I must work. I must accept that I am a sinner, and after that I must try to work towards overcoming those sins. So here in this case, how will I overcome the sins? By worshipping Almighty God, by worshipping the God mentioned in the Vedas, I overcome the sins of these kind of sinful deeds. And further the mantra says, otherwise what happens? Kimasmabhayam jatavedah hrinishe. Because see, kimasmabhayam, kim asmabhayam jatavedah hrinishe. If we do not worship the Almighty God of Vedas, if we do not worship the Almighty God who creates the universe and gives the knowledge through the Vedas. See, please understand, Vedas knowledge are part of the universe creation. God gives the knowledge of the Vedas as a part of universe creation. So whoever has taken birth in this universe, Vedas are applicable to them. So God says in this mantra, if you are not worshipping me, and if you are worshipping anybody else as an imaginary Almighty God, if you are praying to Allah, O Jesus, O Rama, Krishna, etc., then kimasmabhayam jatavedah, that Almighty God, hrinishe, he will go against us. Imagine the entire Malik of this universe going against us. Actually, we are taking things lightly. Many people, yesterday there was a comment, that guy later on deleted the comment. He was arguing back and forth. I said, boss, I don't want to argue with you. He was calling me Arya Namazi. There is a new term called as Arya Namazi, because namaz is normally done by Muslims. Why they call Arya Namazi? Because Arya Samaj people do not believe in idol worship. So they call Arya Samaj as Arya Namazi. He was thinking that I am Arya Samaj. I am not from Arya Samaj. So he was calling me Arya Namazi. I said, you must give first of all respect. The first and foremost thing in any religion, any spirituality, if you want to discuss about Almighty God, is respect others' feelings and also respect others as a person. Don't. And then he was calling me that you look like a pagal, like I'm having bald head. You look like a pagal guy. I said, why are you going by looks? Have respect, have kindness, have love. Otherwise, why we should discuss? If your point is that God can take avatar, then finish. If it's your point. But here God says, I will not do any deeds against Vedas. If you do deed against Vedas, if you worship any other Almighty God other than me, who is mentioned in the Vedas by myself, hrinishe, I will go against you. I will treat you that you are against me. Very simple. See, you go to China, for example, or you are living in India, you are living in any other country, you are living in USA. Can you go to that country? Can you go to China and speak against Xi Jinping? You will be killed on the same day. If you go to USA and say bad words for a president, maybe India is a little lenient country. I'm taking a China example because it's very suitable here. You are coming to China and you are speaking against Xi Jinping. You are going to Korea and speaking against that Korean leader. You will not be spared. Similarly, God says, you are living in my country, you are living in my earth, you are living in my universe. I have given you food, I have given you water, I have given you everything, whatever you want. I have given you your life, but you are not worshipping me. So God says, if you do not worship me, if you do not agree that I am that Almighty God, hrinishe. People, some people will say that, see, this is like a child, God is working with rag dvesh. No, this is not rag dvesh. This is the ultimate reality, and this is the unchangeable, unchallengeable laws of Almighty God. So if we worship any other Almighty God, God will work against us, means God will severely punish us. God will not give us human body again. And further the mantra says, drogavacha. See, we are drogis. We will become drogis when we speak against Vedas. When we speak that God will take avatar. When somebody says that God is Allah. When somebody says God is Jesus. When somebody says God is Mahavira. Any other person as an Almighty God, we are doing droga, mithya. We are actually spreading mithya jnana in the world. And God considers this to be droga to him. Droga vachah te nirritam sachantam. 100% God will give. Nirritam means God will severely punish us. Many people ask me, what is the punishment given by Almighty God for idol worship? Why they want to know this? Because they are doing idol worship. They are unable to come out of this. They want to know what is the punishment. If the punishment is very light, for example, in trains, in the olden days when I used to travel in trains, there used to be one poster: no, smoking not allowed. If you smoke, 500 rupees fine, or 1 year jail or 2 years jail, whatever it is. So some people smoke. Okay, it's only 500 rupees. I want to smoke. Why? Because the fine is very less. If it has been written that no smoking, if you smoke you will be hanged to death, nobody will dare to smoke. So they want to know the amount of punishment so that they can continue their sins. This is very, very, I would say, lunatic approach. This is a mental approach. This is a psychic approach. We must actually bow down to Almighty God. He is the Lord of the sea. See the sky. Open your eyes and see this world, see this earth, how magnanimous He has made this earth. So, and God says, this is made from my minutest power. So why not we become submissive to Him? Why should we show our ego to Almighty God? Why should we say that, okay, what God will do? We should not show our ego to Almighty God. We should become submissive to Almighty God and His Vedas. And God has not only given us the knowledge of Vedas, He has given everything to us, including the knowledge of Vedas, to attain moksha for our own sake. God says, you don't go against me because for your own sake. But we want to take God for granted. We want to understand what punishment He will give. So if we say, if Vedas has been written, okay, when you do idol worship, you will get a punishment equal to 500 rupees fine, then everybody will do idol worship, because they want to understand what is the intensity of punishment. Intensity of, God says nirritam means I will give dand. The dand can be anything. It can be pran dand, it can be dand on the next birth. We will be born as handicapped person, we will be born as animal yoni. God can give any punishment, but God justifies the punishment based on this kind of mantras, based on His rules. Suppose, for example, somebody will argue with me, okay, you are speaking about Vedas, I am listening to your Vedas, I understand, but how about all the other people who do not know what is Vedas? See, it is not, you must not see life in one janma. Please see the life in the various. We are not taking birth for the first time. We have been living in this universe for millions and billions and trillions of years. And some point of time we would have become a human being in the past. And that point of time, Vedas would have definitely come to us, but we ignore Vedas. Today you are getting this video, for example, you are seeing my video for the first time. This is the knowledge of the Vedas you are listening for the first time, but you will ignore. Okay, yaar, put the Vedas in dustbin. Let me do my work. Let me do my, go to temple and then do. So you ignore Vedas. When you start ignoring Vedas, definitely it will not come back to you and you will be subjected to punishment. I am not telling this due to my ahankar. The punishment is also for me. If I do Vedic sinful deeds against Vedas, sinful deeds against Vedas, the punishment is subject to me. Against God will work against me. In fact, God says in Vedas, if you are a Vedic follower, you will get more punishment than the non-Vedic followers, because they do not have jnana. You are having jnana of the knowledge. If you are doing anything against Vedas, the Vedic followers will get the highest punishment by Almighty God. So we must be very, very careful in walking this true path. Number one, adopting the true path. Even if you do not adopt true path, you will be punished. If you adopt the true path, you will be severely punished if you do deeds against Vedas. For example, I am promoting Vedas. I am doing all the sinful deeds. I am doing prostitution. I am doing smoking. I am doing smuggling. I am doing drinking. I am doing all the other sinful activities. Will God spare me? God will severely punish me. He will severely punish me to such an extent, like that punishment cannot be bearable, cannot be even explainable. So we must fear this word te nirritam sachantam. Sachantam means you will have to undergo the punishment. I will give you punishment because you are not worshipping me. You are thinking that somebody else is Almighty God. You are thinking that Sri Krishna created the world. You are thinking that Sri Rama created the world. You are thinking that Sri Rama is Almighty God. No. God does not take birth. God is the one who gives the prana to the human being. Sri Krishna, Sri Ram was breathing. They were doing, they were doing even pranayama. They were Ashtanga Yoga tapasvis. So this is a very, very great warning by Almighty God. So we must try to be very humble to Almighty God instead of questioning Almighty God, instead of questioning why your Vedas are childish. Your God is childish because God is not forgiving the sinners. Why will God forgive the sinners? God says in the Vedas, I will never forgive the sinners. So why do we expect God to forgive after doing sins? Once you have done sins, you must accept that, okay, I'm a sinner. God says the same thing. Uh, up you hai, I'm a sinner. I'm accepting it. And I'm now praying to you, God, I will not do any more sins. And whatever sins I have done, please punish me, because I have done the sins. I don't want forgiveness. Because if God gives me forgiveness, He will not be supreme judge. He will become partial, because He is forgiving me. He is not forgiving anybody else. So God says in the Vedas, once you adopt the Vedic path, also you must undergo the result of your sins, what you have done so far. And if you, having come to Vedic path, if you do continue to do sins, you will severely get punished by Almighty God. So please let us, this is Rigveda 7 by 104 by 14 mantra. Thank you so much. So we must try to be very, very careful with with the knowledge of the Vedas, understand Almighty God with sincerity, with Shraddha, and also try to be always humble and submissive to Almighty God and Acharyas. Acharya is great because he is trying to explain these kind of Ved mantras. See what God says. Unless and otherwise we understand these Ved mantras, how will we be able to understand who is Almighty God? How will we be able to search who is the creator of this universe? So we must be thankful to Acharyas and Almighty God. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.